Well, the reason I wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad was because I knew this time was coming. And we have, as a world, have never been here before. And so is it a spooky time? Damn yeah. It is probably the most dangerous time ever, 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 ever. There's nothing to compare it to because there's never been a world economy before. For example, 100 years ago, if there was a stock market crash in England, it didn't affect anybody. But now the US market goes down, the world goes down. So plus with social media and all this we're doing now, and so we've never been here before. And I'm excited about it because I make more money in crashes than I do when they go up. So, but for the average person, they'll get wiped out. I'm afraid at the worst, I hope I'm wrong, but I think we're heading for a global depression.
Global depression?
Yeah.
What does that look like?
Depression. I mean, people are depressed. The economy stays down. It's hard to come back up. And now the good news is that for those who are prepared for it, like you and things like this, you'll do better. See, not everybody dies in a plane crash. Some plane crashes. But the last crash in 2008, I was on Wolf Blitzer's program 6 months before Lehman Brothers went down. And I said Lehman was going down. And those guys who, my friends who flew for United Airlines, they're broke today. Their pensions were stolen. US Air, same thing. You look at what's going on in Paris today as we talk, they're rioting. Millions of people are rioting because of pensions. Japan, they're rioting because of pensions.
Terrible. You see them, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Americans, I wonder how my 401k is doing. I'm going, gee, I'd be a little bit worried, but they don't know. Americans live in a fishbowl. Everybody sees in, but Americans can't see out. So like I travel the world constantly. And what I see going on in the world is disturbing. I was just in Argentina and I took my kid brother there and he came back a changed man. He says, "You weren't kidding, were you?" I said, "No, I wasn't." My brother could not believe that what happened in Argentina is going to happen here. Well, that's a fabulous question because today, when I refer to 2008, most people remember 2008. Do you know what I mean? That's when Lehman went down, Bear Stearns went down.
38% drop.
Yeah, they all remember it. But when I started Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the only thing they had was the Depression. I came out in 1997, Rich Dad, Poor Dad came out. And their only reference points was the Depression. And none of the people I talked to remember the Depression. So the fear today, I think people are a little bit wiser, is because they do remember 2008 and they do remember 2000. So 2008, 2000, 2008, and here we are today. So I think most people are at least kind of tuned in. I hope it doesn't come down, but I'm afraid it will. That's what I have to say. I made more money after 2008 than I ever in my whole entire life because everybody was hiding like little cockroaches.
You made more money after 2008 than your entire life.
Yeah, so when, here I'm talking about the coming depression, everybody says, "Oh, you're such a pessimist, I'm going, no, I'm excited. I get sexually stimulated thinking about all the bargains that are going to be on the street, I mean, it's going to be bargains everywhere. But everybody else, "Oh, you're pessimistic." No, I'm actually optimistic. So anyway, so you're very smart. Just when I study business. Guys who start right after a crash do very well most of the time.
It's work for us, whether it was smart, luck, or wise, or a little bit of all
just
of it.
Stupid.
We'll take it as long as we
just
did.
Admit you're stupid.
Absolutely not.
See, I'm not in the stock market, so I'm not the guy to ask, and I just don't trust the market because it's so manipulated. I mean, I'm not saying, that book on fake money, fake teachers, fake assets, the Dow. This book, Who Stole My Pension? I write about what is America's #1 export. Do you know what it is? Toxic assets. 2008 was Wall Street.
Toxic assets.
And so what is it today? Wall Street just looted the pensions. So this book, Who Stole My Pension? It's like I said, my co-author is an SEC attorney. And he got sick and tired of seeing all these bankers loot the pensions and get paid bonuses. And then the labor union guys who manage the funds get paid bonuses. And the guys who manage it get paid bonus. Meanwhile, the workers get screwed. So when this next crash comes, it's going to be horrible. Now you look at the other guy. So there's two authors. Ted Siddell, SEC attorney. His father was a CIA operative in Uganda, and Idi Amin killed his father. So his family went broke because there was no body. He couldn't collect anything because no body, no corpse. Whereas my father ran for political office against the governor of Hawaii, and he got crushed. And the governor says, "You're no job, no paycheck, no pension." So my old man's broke. So Ted and I are about the same age, and we come back. He says, "My father has no money. My family's starving. My family was starving because my father lost everything." So it kind of put us on edge. You know what I mean? I don't trust my government. I'm not a Republican or Democrat. I like Trump, but they can't save me. You know, Trump, Biden, Sanders. I mean, it's a cast of characters, right? You got the Donald on one side, and then you got Comrade Sanders, a commie, and then you got Pocahontas, and then you got Alfred E. Newman, Buttigieg. It's a reality TV show up there. You're counting on the government to take care of you? I mean, wake up on businesses. So the Rich Dad Company does better in a crash. And apartment houses, they always do well because people have to have someplace to live. And on oil wells, because people are always burning oil. So I always protect my assets that they're crash proof. Well, first of all, everybody can do something, but they won't. And that's the problem. You know, the reason, who stole my pension, there was plenty of money in it, but nobody did anything. They just stole it. And people did nothing. It's like I said, when the crash came in 2008, not one of those guys went to jail. They got paid bonuses. So there's something rotten inside America. And I think the problem with many Americans is they're complacent. They expect, well, it'll heal itself again. So the thing that everybody can do is, as I covered in Fake, my first investment was a gold coin in Hong Kong. I bought a Krugerrand. I was flying off an aircraft carrier in Vietnam, and I went to Hong Kong and I bought a gold Krugerrand. The date was 1972. The reason the date's important is because in 1972 it was illegal for Americans to own gold. So I had to smuggle that little puppy into America. I put it in my pocket, came off the ship, and nobody checked, But I felt like a criminal as I smuggled this gold coin because it was illegal for Americans to own gold after 1933 under Roosevelt. In 10 years, 2030, 2 billion baby boomers across the world will retire. Japan's broke. Argentina's broke. China's broke. Italy's broke. Germany's broke. All these old guys are retiring. And the stock market, I live in a fairly exclusive place in South Carolina, and I was talking to my friends there, and they said, "Oh, we love Trump, we love Trump. Stock market's an all-time high." And I said, "Yeah, but so is our debt all-time high."